WordPress can feel overwhelming until you know exactly where to click. By the end of this tutorial, you'll know where everything lives in WordPress, how to get around the dashboard, build and publish pages with Elementor, update your menus, and add a working contact form without writing a single line of code. So let me show you how right now. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Jotform. On this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to get started using WordPress. So if you are just a beginner, a freelancer, entrepreneur, or a business person, but you don't know how to use WordPress, well, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to use it really easily right now. So let's get started. This is my Jotform dashboard, but we're going to jump over to our WordPress website to show you how to get around. Now, this is a clean install of a WordPress website, and I'm going to show you every single aspect of the dashboard and how to get around in WordPress. But before we get started, I first need to let you know what's the big difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org, because I don't want you to make the mistake when selecting the version of WordPress that you're going to use. Now, there's two key differences. So there's WordPress.com and WordPress.org. WordPress.org is an open source service that allows you to use WordPress for free. So that means that you can download it and upload it on your shared hosting or VPS hosting to host the WordPress website. That's completely free to use the WordPress system. The downside is that you do need to pay for the hosting provider, and you do need to be taking care of security because it's hosted on your server. That's one of the key differences here. Now, WordPress.com is the paid version of WordPress. If you buy a plan with them, they host it for you and they take care of the security features for you. So it's one of the key differences of WordPress.com. Now, why would you decide one or the other? Well, if you want simplicity and easy to use, WordPress.com is the way to go. Now, if you have a little bit more of knowledge and you like doing things yourself, WordPress.org is a fantastic option. You'll be saving a lot of money if you use WordPress.org. Why is this if you still have to pay for hosting? Well, you do pay for hosting, but you can install multiple websites in that hosting system. So that means that you can install on a shared hosting 5, 10 WordPress websites that you use WordPress.org on, which is going to bring the cost down when using a shared or VPS hosting. You're going to pay for each individual website that you launch on WordPress.com, and it could get expensive in the future. Plus, they have several available versions depending on your needs. So if you need more storage, it gets a little bit more expensive. If you need more features, it also becomes a bit more expensive too. So you need to consider all of this when selecting WordPress.com, because you're going to get most of the features on WordPress.org, but you'll pay just for hosting. So it's two key differences that you need to decide right now in the beginning what you want to use when launching your WordPress website. Now, in this case, I'm using WordPress.org because I'm hosting on my own server, which is more beneficial for me because I can install multiple WordPress websites on this hosting provider. Okay, so this is the main dashboard here on WordPress, and let's get started with the top bar to understand how it's going to work. So first off, we have this WordPress icon that lets us get around by going into WordPress, and it's just a branding that they have there. So it's not really useful if you ask me. Then we have the little house here. That means that it's going to take us to the live website. This is the current website that I have launched right now, which nothing is going on. If I click again on this icon, it'll take me to the back end of WordPress. I also have a search feature that I can use to go around WordPress and find things that I couldn't find normally, which makes things really practical. We have the comments icon to view all the comments available here. And we have the new to create a post, a media, a page, or a user. That's like a quick access action to create these super easy to do posts and pages. And on the right, we have our avatar where we can edit our own profile. Now in this case, we have the default look, but if you want to change the look, it's really useful, especially when you have multiple WordPress websites. Let me show you a quick option here. You can see how the colors change. Now this is useful because then you don't get confused on what WordPress website you're editing on, because it might look the same in the back end, so you might get a little bit confused. So the color scheme is super useful, right? And you have several available options here for the username, the name, nickname, the content, the website, etc., your avatar, change the password and application password for certain situations that you might use for more advanced features connecting to other applications, all right? Next, we have our dashboard. In the dashboard, we're going to view a quick overview of everything that's going on right here. Be aware that if you install new plugins, you'll see different layouts here on the dashboard. So currently we're viewing the site status, which everything is good right now. At a glance, published posts, 6 published pages, the version that I'm on WordPress right now, the quick draft. If I want to draft something really quickly here, because later I do want to create a post, this is the quick option here, the activity and the WordPress events and news, just what's going on WordPress lately. That's directly from WordPress, and it's just news that you're going to have right here, right? Then we have updates. So you'll view little numbers here when there's an update available. For plugins and themes, they'll all be listed right here. So we got the plugins and themes, and the WordPress main version will be available here to update too. So it's really practical to have this interface here. Then we have the post section. This is where we're going to be able to create posts here on WordPress. Super easy and practical. Let's go ahead and add a brand new post here, and you'll be able to set your title and the blocks that you're going to use right here. So for example, this could be a test title just for testing purposes. And then we have blocks. WordPress calls these Gutenberg blocks. So that's like the Gutenberg builder that they have. Currently, I haven't activated Elementor, but we're going to do that to get access to those elements too. We'll be able to create posts and pages using Elementor. But right now, I first want to show you how to get around WordPress without any extra themes or plugins, right? So we have the blocks available here. There's a ton of blocks available. Just go ahead and select the one that you want to use. A lot of options available that you can add right here. Sometimes you just don't need to add additional plugins and themes because you can just get along fine with the Gutenberg blocks that they have available. Once you build your post, so I'm just gonna add some text right here for testing purposes. We have the options available for the specific block that I'm using right now, so I can make modifications, but then we have the general settings for the actual post. Inside of here, we're going to set the featured image. This is super important that you add an image on your posts and pages, because when you share this on social media or via a messenger system like WhatsApp, Messenger, etc., it's going to add a default image. That's the one that is going to be set right here. So yes, do set that because it's important, right? Then we have the details about this post. We can also move this to trash if we're not going to use this. We can set categories here. So in this case, there's only uncategorized category now. I do recommend that you take some time and build the categories that you're going to be using, because it helps organize, plus it helps with SEO purposes. Then there's also tags. Tags also help with SEO purposes because it helps it understand what this post is about. So for example, I can say test, hit enter, and just add more tags based on this. Once I'm good to go, I can save this as a draft. I can preview this as a desktop, tablet, or mobile view, or show a template, or preview this in a new tab. Once we're good to go, we like the post, let's go ahead and publish this. And this is now live to go ahead and view. So here's the test title and the description, which is super basic because we haven't done any customization to the WordPress website. But it's just to show you how easy it is to create a post here on WordPress. In post, you have the all posts, add a post from the menu, categories, which we saw already, but we can create categories right here without having to do it inside of an actual post that we're going to create. And that also happens with tags. We can create tags right here, and we can also filter tags and view tags available here, which is practical, right? Then we have the media section. The media is like your file manager, but just for media. So you'll be able to view all your images, videos, and documents right here in the library. Now, just like we saw posts, there's also pages. And in pages, it's super easy to create new pages. Let's go ahead and click on add a new page. And these are different from the posts. Pages are meant to be the overall wireframe of your website, and posts are supposed to be like your blog and articles. So it's like a different section for posts than pages. Now, for example, if we load one of the templates available here, it's going to be super easy. You can go ahead and test it out. You can go ahead and add your page title here. So I'm just going to say test title for testing purposes. And here are all the elements added inside of this page. I can go ahead and select an element, and I'll be able to customize it here on the right. You'll have your content settings here for the images, the heading, the paragraph, the buttons, and so much more. And your general settings for the page. We also have the option to set the featured image here, which is again really important that you set this up, because if you don't share it with the featured image, you might get a blank just link, or you'll get the main image from the website and not the one dedicated for the one that you're going to share. So it's really important that you set these. Once you're good to go, we'll go ahead and publish this. Here we go. Let's go ahead and view our page, and here it is. This is now live here on WordPress, right? So again, let's go back into our main dashboard. We'll be able to view all the pages available here. we'll be able to edit what we just edited right now. We'll be able to do a quick edit, which is just changing the title, the slug, the date that it was published, the parent page, the order, template, status. If you want to change this to pending review or draft, you can do so with the quick edit. You can trash this and you can also view this, which is practical to have all this available inside of Pages. All right. Then we have the option for the comments. Comments is a quick list of all the comments that we're going to have available here. From the comments that you're going to receive in the post and the articles, you'll be able to filter them out here. You'll be able to approve. You'll be able to send them to spam or trash them if you don't need them anymore. Then we have appearance, where we have our themes available here. Currently, we have the Gutenberg default theme installed, and then we have the option to use Elementor. Now, Elementor has several available variations of Elementor that you can use that could be easier to use, that has more templates and elements that you can use. So this is Elementor, and if you want to install it, let's go ahead and click on Add New Theme, and in Theme, we're going to search for Elementor or find it right in the most popular section here. Now, Elementor, we can go ahead and activate this, and it's like the main base of Elementor, which is practical if you want to build from there. And they also have a pro version, so you're not going to get everything unlocked on Elementor. But there's a workaround for this, because you can find other themes that do use Elementor, but has more elements available. Like, for example, Nexter. Let's go ahead and activate Nexter, which is an Elementor option here that we can use. For example, there's Astra, they also use Elementor, and other Elementor themes that also do use it. Let's go ahead and install Elementor. We're being prompted to install this too, because this will unlock the full features of Elementor. Here we go, it's getting installed. Let's go ahead and continue as a guest. We're going to skip all this for testing purposes. Now, be aware that Elementor has that pro version that unlocks more elements and more features than the standard version. What we're viewing right now is the free version of Elementor, and it helps us get started really easily. They got an AI site planner, a website templates, and starting from a blank site. Once we're here, we're able to select a template. Now, something that you have to notice here is that some of these say advanced and some of these say free. There's a little icon that says free and a little icon that says advanced. If you are not in the advanced plan, you don't have access to these templates. We can go ahead and view the template, and yes, they look really nice, but we can only select the free ones if you're on the free plan of Elementor, right? So let's go ahead and find a really nice looking one in the free plan. This one looks okay. Let's go ahead and check this out. Here we go. Yeah, this looks nice. And it also has some movement into the theme, so I like it. Let's go ahead and apply it right now, and it's going to load it into our WordPress website. Now I'm going to say apply all, and it's also going to apply the images from that actual template. I can go ahead and replace these really easily, so not to worry, okay? So let's wait for this to be loaded up. Here we go. Let's continue with the process, and it's telling me what's included on this template. So the content is 6 navigation menu themes, 4 pages, 3 taxonomies, and 6 menus, and nothing in the templates, site settings, or the plugin. So let's go ahead and see it live right now. Here we go. This is an actual live website now on the WordPress website. Like I told you, Elementor makes it way easier to build a website than just using plain Gutenberg, which is really practical. All right. So this is the live site. We can go ahead and customize this now. Let's go ahead and close this. Here we go. And now we have Elementor on the website. So we have some new menus. On the left, we have this new menu that says Home, Settings, Theme Builder, and AI Site Planner. Let's get started with this before I show you how to customize the pages individually and how to customize the menu and much more. Okay, so first off, we have the settings, which is the SEO and accessibility, structure and layout, CSS, and styling control. This is for more advanced features, which would not be required in the beginning. Okay, then we have the theme builder. This is where we're able to customize certain sections of the website. Be aware that we do need to be in the upgraded plan in order to get access to the theme builder. Okay, but not to worry, we can still customize features in the WordPress website. Okay, now these are locked by default in the free plan, right? Then we have the AI site planner, which is also again in the paid version. So if you're looking to upgrade your Elementor version, go ahead and jump into the paid plan, right? Let's go into the Elementor settings, and there's a few options that we can install that complement with Elementor. So you got Site Manager, Angie, which brings AI to your WordPress website, Cookie Consent, Site Planner, and some of these you can add these for free. So it's practical if you want to add those to your website, all right? Now let's go into the editor. We got the Quick Start Editor that helps you get started with all the available options here on Elementor. So you got your settings for Elementor. Here we go. You got your tools. You got your saved templates, the theme builder, which we saw already, but we need the unlocked version, the floating elements, pop-ups, add new template, a role manager, submissions, custom elements. Some of these, like I mentioned, are on the free version, and some of these required a paid plan. So do consider that when you are using Elementor. Okay, now in Pages, we'll be able to view what was built with Gutenberg and what was built with Elementor. So for example, if it's built with Elementor, you'll see that it says right here, Elementor. Now we have the front page, which is the home page right now. I can go ahead and view this right now. Let's go ahead and view it. Here we go. That's the home page, looking nice. Then we have the rest of the pages here. Now, what if I want to edit this page in Elementor? Now look at this. When I hover over this page, it says edit with Elementor. That's what we want to do. So let's go ahead and edit with Elementor to continue customizing the actual page right here. So check this out. Any element that I select, I can go ahead and customize it on the options on the left. So for example, if I select this text, we have the text available here. So for example, I could change this to test, and now it just updated right before our eyes. So it's easy and practical. So I got the style for this specific section that I'm selecting. I have the advanced options for this section, and any element that you select will be able to view the options on the right. So if we want to change the image, just go ahead and select the one that you want to use. Go ahead and remove the ones that you don't want to use, but it's easy and practical to do this. You have the style for the images too. You got the advanced options for the images too. So any element that you select here on Elementor will be able to customize. Now, what if I want to add more sections because the template didn't add certain details that I wanted? Okay, so if you hover over this, there's an option with a plus sign. I can add a brand new container and add sections into that container. I can move this container. I can drop it again and leave it there. I can deselect it and leave it where it was. And I can go ahead and remove it by clicking on the X button. But if I want to add elements, let's click on the plus sign here. And there's several available elements that you can select from Elementor. So again, be aware, some of these have a little crown. That means that they are the paid version. But if not, for example, if I want to drag in a video inside of here, just go ahead and do so. Select the video. I can upload a video and start streaming it right here. If I don't want to use it, just go ahead and remove the element really easily by deleting it. All right, and there's several available elements. I can add a button right here, and it's easy and practical. I can go customize it by saying click on this button and change all the style, set the link that I want this button to go to, the ID, the style of the button, the interactions of the buttons, and it's just easy and practical to change everything with Elementor. Right, so again, there's several available elements that we can use. There's also layouts, which you can use a container or a grid, the basic elements. So just like you saw with Gutenberg, we also have the practically same elements, plus a bit more and a little bit more of advanced features to customize the elements. That's why Elementor is really popular. You got some pro elements, which takes it to the next level. You got some pricing tables, login system, Facebook page, and so much more. And your general ones that you can also add here. Remember, the ones that don't have a crown, you'll be able to start using right away. So it's easy and practical to customize the site. Now on the top, we can go ahead and change to a different page. Right now we're on the home page, but we can jump into editing a different page really easily. We can view the tablet mode to see how it's going to perform on the tablet, mobile mode, so we can see how it's going to perform on the phone, and it's easy and practical. And on the right, we have a checklist. We have what's new, a finder, a structure. So if you want to jump into a certain section of the page that you're building, there's a structure where you can select it. Sometimes you don't find the element, or sometimes you can't click on a certain element because it's behind another one or kind of behind another element. Use the structure and select the element that you want to edit or jump to. So you can see it updates the options on the left depending on the element that you select. Then we have the preview changes and the publish option, and then also the save as draft, save as a template, view page, or markdown. If I publish this, it's going to update any changes that I made. Like, for example, this button that I've just added will be reflected on the page. If I want to jump out of here, click on this option here on the top left and exit to WordPress. And that will take you to the backend page of WordPress. Now, currently I'm located in the home page, but using the native Gutenberg system. I can upload the image from here. I can customize a few things from here, and I can also trash it from here. Let's go back into the main section of WordPress, and we are now here. So again, super easy and practical to create pages with Elementor, and creating a new design with a template is really practical with Elementor. Now let's continue with the WordPress menu. So remember, we're in appearance. We have the theme details here. We have the design option here. This will take us to design to be the styles and patterns here on WordPress, which is practical. Then we have the fonts. So if you want to upload custom fonts, The menus, this is super important to set the menu that you want to use. You might be creating pages and you'll see that they are not reflected in WordPress because you haven't created a menu that's going to reflect those there, all right? Now on this template, there's a footer menu and a primary menu. If I upload the primary menu, it's gonna set the links right here. But maybe I just created a brand new page, like a contact page, and it's not available here. Go ahead and select it from the available pages here and add it to the menu. And that will now be added to the actual menu on the top. Then we have plugins on WordPress, which are super useful because they can take your website to the next level, including features that you don't have natively with WordPress, which is useful. In this case, I already have Elementor installed, which is useful to use as a website builder on WordPress. It allows me to add more elements, and there's a ton of plugins available that you can add. Now, in this case, I already have a few Jotform plugins installed here, including Jotform AI Chatbot, Jotform Widgets for Google Reviews, and online forms from Jotform. So it helps me add the forms over here and add AI agents and so much more. Let me show you really quickly these plugins, and then we'll continue with the rest of the options available here. For example, I have Jotform AI Chatbot, which allows me to add a chatbot into WordPress. So the one I built on Jotform, I can start using it right here. And in this case, I already have this active on the website, so I can go ahead and preview this on the live side. And you'll see the brand new AI chatbot here on the bottom left. I can kick it off and start using it right away. Plus, I can customize and view the conversation straight from the plugin. The other plugin that I have from Jotform that's really interesting is the online forms. This allows WordPress Gutenberg to add my forms inside of here. Now, to access this, let's go ahead and go into page. Let's go ahead and create a brand new page for testing purposes. And I'm going to name this page Contact Form. Here we go. And then I have my blocks. In this case, I'm going to use Gutenberg. I'm going to click on this plus button, select Classic, edit Contents. And in Contents, I have this brand new icon here because I have the plugin. Be aware that if you don't install the plugin, you won't have access to add the forms here. And also be aware that the first time that you launch this plugin, it will request to connect WordPress with the Jotform to allow access. Now, what we can do is select one of the forms that we have on this account to use it on the form here. For example, in this case, I'm going to use this coffee survey form. So I'm going to continue. It adds a short code and I can go ahead and save this, and that will reflect on the live site. Let's go ahead and test this out right now. Let's go into preview in the page, and that is going to load up our form. And here we go. We now have our Jotform form that was built over there inside our WordPress website using the plugin. So it's super useful. Plus, we can use these short codes to embed this on any part of the website since we have the plugin available. So it's really practical to use this. And there's a ton of plugins that you can use here on WordPress, including, for example, WooCommerce to turn the whole WordPress site into an actual store so you can start selling products. Then we have the users. You'll be able to view all the users here, including adding more users for different purposes. And you can set their role right here. A shop manager, a customer, subscriber, contributor, author, editor, and administrator. Each one of these have different access to certain settings of the website. So be aware when you select the user role, okay? Then we can view our profile, which we've seen already in the beginning. The tools, there's available tools here on Jotform. There's the import feature, the export feature, the site health to see how our site is actually doing. There's the security details here and the information for the general details of this website. And there's a lot of details here that could be useful depending on your use case. Export personal data, erase personal data, the general settings for the website. So the site name could be set here. The tagline, the site icon for the fav icon, which is what is going to be displayed in the tab. The administrator email, is this a membership or can anyone register? New users default role, if you have someone signing up, it'll be default subscriber. You can then switch these manually without a hassle going into the users section. Date format, time format, so depending on the country that you're in, that might change up a bit. Go ahead and select the one that you need to use. The connectors to connect with Anthropic, Google, and OpenAI. Writing options, reading options. Reading is a really important feature here because if you change the home page or create a brand new page to be the home page, this is where you're going to set it. So you can set the static page right here. So the home page right now is the home page, but maybe it's the review page that needs to be the home page. Just go ahead and select it here and save it. So that's how practical it is to set the home page. So I hope you like this tutorial. Please let me know here in the comments what you think about WordPress and what you would like to see in the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification to get notified when new videos come out. And that's a wrap.